Your birth date is not a coincidence, it's a code. Many people live their entire lives thinking they were born at a random time on a random day, but this idea is only comforting if you want to avoid responsibility for your existence. In the teachings of self-mastery and internal discipline, we do not believe in randomness. What appears random is simply something we have not yet understood. Every person arrives in this world at a precise moment, and that moment carries a vibration, a certain frequency, that marks the beginning of your journey in this lifetime. Your birth date is not just a number, it is a signal, a code that holds information about the lessons you will face, the energies you will carry, and the potential you can unlock. When you were born, the universe was in a specific state. Everything was in alignment in a particular way, from the position of the planets to the rhythm of life around you. The moment you took your first breath, you were imprinted with that state of existence. This imprint is your karmic signature. It does not define your fate, but it sets the stage. It lays out the energetic terrain upon which you will walk and learn and evolve. Just like a seed planted in winter will grow differently than one planted in spring, your birth moment defines the conditions into which you were placed. It influences the kind of experiences that will enter your path, the kind of people you will attract, the emotional tendencies that may arise within you. But it is not a sentence, it is a map, a guide. It shows you where you are starting from, so you can begin walking toward who you must become. In Shaolin philosophy, we often speak of the three treasures, the mind, the heart, and the body. Your birth date resonates with all three. It influences how your mind reacts under pressure, how your heart seeks connection or solitude, how your body stores energy and tension. Most people are unaware of these patterns. They react blindly. They fall into the same emotions, the same mistakes, the same relationships again and again without ever seeing the design behind them. But when you begin to study yourself, to observe deeply, you start to see the code unfold. You begin to notice, oh, this is not new. I felt this before, this situation has happened before. This is a pattern, this is my karma trying to speak to me, trying to wake me up. Awareness is the first step. When you understand that your birth date is a code, you stop trying to change the outside world and start decoding the inner world. You begin to see that life is not happening to you, it is happening for you. Every challenge is an invitation to grow. Every failure is a lesson wrapped in disguise. Every emotional storm is a mirror reflecting back your unconscious habits, your unhealed wounds, your untapped strength and clarity. Some people look up their zodiac signs or numerology numbers and treat it like entertainment. They say, I'm like this because of my sign or because of my number, and they laugh and move on. But in doing so, they miss the essence, the real teaching. Your birth date does carry truth, not in the way of fortune telling, but in the way of self-inquiry. It is a door, not a destination. It is a way to look deeper, not a reason to stop looking. To say I am angry because I am a fire sign is to say I have no power to change. But this is not the way of the warrior. This is not the way of mastery in the path of inner discipline. You say, I notice this anger, I observe this fire, and now I will learn to use it wisely, to channel it, to transform it into power, into clarity, into light. This is the difference between being ruled by your code and understanding your code. Your birth date is not here to control you. It is here to reveal something within you. It is a tool. If used properly, it becomes a weapon of truth. But if ignored, it becomes a blindfold you carry into every relationship, every decision, every regret. If you want to understand the karma you carry, look at the patterns in your life. Look at the emotions that rise again and again. Look at the type of people you are drawn to. Look at what triggers you most intensely. Then return to your birth moment. Ask, what was I born to learn? What part of me needs healing? What gift have I forgotten? And what truth am I avoiding? Your code is not about prediction. It is about awakening. It is not about what will happen to you. It is about what is ready to emerge from you. In the Shaolin Temple, we are taught that everything is connected. The breath, the thought, the action, your past lives, your future intentions, your present attention. When you understand that your life is coded not by chance but by meaning, you begin to live differently. You stop running from the hard lessons. You stop blaming others for your suffering. You start asking better questions, deeper questions, the kind that open your awareness and silence your ego. Your birth date is not a limit, it is a starting point. It is like the first sound of a song. From that sound, everything else can unfold if you play the notes well. If you stay aware, if you act with discipline and compassion, your life will become a beautiful melody. But if you ignore the rhythm of your code, you will feel out of sync, always searching, always confused, always restless. Your code is not meant to trap you. It is meant to guide you, to lead you back to your true self. When you honor your birth date, not as a superstition but as a spiritual signal, you begin to respect yourself more. You begin to take your time on earth seriously, not with fear, but with purpose. You begin to walk with dignity, with the awareness that you were not just born to survive, but to awaken, to evolve, to transform karma into wisdom, suffering into growth, and time into timelessness. Your birth date was the first whisper of this path. Now the question is, will you listen? Will you walk it? Will you decode your life before it is over? Or will you keep asking why things happen without ever asking who you truly are? Keep walking your path, keep listening to the signs, keep refining your mind, heart and body, and the code will reveal itself through your actions, not your predictions. Your awareness is the key, everything else will follow. Karma is not punishment, it's a pattern. Many people fear the word karma. They think it means something bad will happen to them, that the universe is keeping score, waiting for the moment they slip so it can deliver pain, but this belief is rooted in misunderstanding. Karma is not some divine justice system meant to reward the good and punish the bad. It is much deeper than that. It is not personal, it is not emotional. It is simply the law of cause and effect. It is energy in motion, returning to its source again and again until balance is found, until awareness is awakened. Your karma is not judging you, it is reflecting you. It is showing you the unconscious patterns you keep living out, the thoughts you repeat, the emotions you cling to, the actions you perform without presence or understanding. And every time that pattern completes itself, it leaves behind a trace, a memory. And unless you become aware of it, you repeat it again, not because you are cursed, not because you are bad, but because the lesson was not yet learned, the pattern was not yet broken. Many people say, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I always attract the same kind of people, the same problems, the same suffering? They think life is against them. They think something outside must change. But in the teachings of self-mastery, we look within. If something repeats, it means you haven't yet become fully conscious of it. If something triggers you, it means there is still something unresolved inside of you. Karma is not here to hurt you. It is here to reveal you. In the Shaolin tradition, we are taught to observe ourselves without judgment, to watch the rise and fall of thoughts, to see how emotions grip us and pass through, to feel the impact of our words and choices. This is not to condemn ourselves, but to understand ourselves, because only when we see clearly can we begin to choose differently. Karma is not punishment, it is a mirror. When you shout into a valley, the echo returns, not as revenge, but as response. So too do your actions, thoughts, and feelings send out vibrations that return to you, not to punish, but to teach. Look at your life. What experiences keep coming back? What habits keep pulling you in? What emotional states seem impossible to shake off? These are not random. They are karmic imprints, patterns of energy that are still active within your system. And as long as they remain unconscious, they will continue to shape your life. They will choose for you until you choose to see them. until you bring them into the light of awareness. Some people inherit karma from their parents not because of genetics but because of repetition. A father who suppresses anger teaches his son to do the same. A mother who fears abandonment passes that fear to her daughter without saying a word. The child absorbs the unspoken lessons and grows into the same cycles, believing they are their own, but they are not. They are inherited energy, old patterns that must be transformed, not blamed. Karma lives in families, in generations, in lineages, and until one person becomes aware, the pattern continues. But the moment you wake up, something changes. You begin to notice the pull of the old pattern, but instead of acting on it, you pause. You observe. You breathe. And in that moment of awareness, you break the chain. You create space. And in that space, you choose something new, something conscious, something aligned with your higher nature. That is how karma becomes a tool for growth, not suffering. That is how you transform the pattern into power. Karma also lives in how we treat others. Every word, every action carries energy. When you act with anger, that energy does not disappear. It moves outward, then circles back inward. When you act with love, with patience, with honesty, that energy also returns, not as reward but as resonance. The universe is not watching you, it is responding to you. It is reflecting your inner state back to you, again and again, until you learn to align it with peace. When you stop thinking of karma as punishment, you stop fearing life. You begin to see that every challenge is an opportunity to master yourself. Every painful event is a chance to observe the unconscious pattern that created it. When you understand this, you stop running from your suffering and begin learning from it. You stop asking why me and begin asking what now? What can I learn? What is life trying to show me through this experience? The greatest freedom is not the absence of karma but the mastery of it. It is when you no longer live in reaction but in awareness. When you see the pattern as it begins and choose not to follow it. That is the power of discipline, not just over the body but over the mind, over emotion, over energy. True strength is the ability to pause in the face of habit and respond with wisdom, not impulse. In the Shaolin way, we train not just to fight but to feel, to see, to become sensitive to the subtle movements of thought and energy, because this is where karma begins, not in the big choices but in the small unseen ones. The way you breathe when angry, the way you speak when afraid, the way you judge without knowing, the way you distract instead of facing the present. All of these create ripples that become waves, that become reality. And it is only when you become still, when you become honest, that you start to change the direction of those waves. Some say karma cannot be changed, but that is not true. Karma that is unconscious will repeat. Karma that is seen will evolve. Karma is a river. It flows in the direction of your awareness. When you are asleep, it drags you. When you are awake, you direct it. Your past does not define you, your patterns do. And your patterns are simply habits of energy which can be changed with effort, with clarity, with presence. So the next time life brings you something painful, something heavy, something you wish you could avoid, do not ask how to escape it. Ask what it is showing you. Ask where the pattern lives. Ask how long you have been living this way without knowing. And then breathe, feel and face it. That is the beginning of liberation. That is the moment karma becomes your teacher, not your jailer. When you understand karma as pattern, you take back your power. You stop blaming fate. You stop blaming others. You start walking your path with responsibility, with courage, with humility. And the patterns that once ruled your life become stepping stones to wisdom and strength. Walk this path with your eyes open, with your heart steady and your breath deep, and you will see karma not as punishment, but as a guide leading you home to yourself. You are born with a mission. Recognize the signs from the moment you arrived in this world. Your presence carried meaning. Your existence came with a task. not given by society, not defined by titles, not written in books, but woven deep within the fabric of your being. Your mission is not something you choose, it is something you uncover. It has been there from the beginning, waiting for you to remember, waiting for you to wake up. Many people live without ever asking why they are here. They move through life chasing comfort, avoiding pain, following others, trying to fit in. They seek approval, they fear rejection. They silence their inner voice just to be accepted. But deep down there's a restlessness, a quiet ache, a knowing that something is missing, something essential, and that something is purpose. Without it, even success feels empty, even love feels unstable, even peace feels fragile. Your birth into this world was not random. It happened at the right time, in the right place, under the right conditions for your soul's journey. Your experiences, your family, your challenges, your talents, all carry clues. They are the fingerprints of your mission, the signs you must learn to read if you want to walk your true path. Some signs are loud: trauma, loss, heartbreak, sudden changes. These experiences shake you because they are trying to wake you. Other signs are quiet, a repeated dream, a natural pull towards something, a strange inner voice that whispers when all else is silent. So the reason many people miss their mission is because they are looking for something outside. They want a clear instruction, a guaranteed outcome, a promise of success. But your mission does not speak in promises, it speaks in feeling. It pulls you towards something meaningful, something real, something that challenges you in the exact way you need to grow. And to grow, you must be willing to listen to what is uncomfortable, to look at what is hidden, to feel what is raw and true. Some people carry a mission to teach others, carry a mission to protect, to build, to heal, to lead, to create, to awaken. But the mission is never about ego. It is never about being better than others. It is always about service, about using what you have suffered, what you have learned to uplift life, to bring clarity, to bring strength, to bring balance. The more you resist your mission, the more life feels heavy. The more you align with it, the more everything begins to flow. You may wonder, how do I know what my mission is? How do I find it? But it is not a matter of finding it, it is a matter of recognizing it. It is already showing itself in the things that move you, the moments that break you, the stories that resonate deeply with your soul, what makes you angry, what makes you cry, what makes you feel alive. These are signs. These are reflections of your inner purpose. When you stop ignoring them, when you start following them, something begins to awaken and you begin to walk with a different kind of power. Your mission is not always what you want it to be. Sometimes it is heavy, sometimes it asks more from you than you feel you can give, but it is never more than you are meant to carry. And the truth is, your soul chose this before you arrived here. It chose these challenges, these lessons, these gifts, because it knew what you were capable of. It knew the depth of your potential and the strength of your spirit. The signs have always been there in your suffering, in your gifts, in the way your heart responds to the world. When you were a child, there were things you loved without reason, things that made you feel free, things that made time disappear. That was not an accident. That was the original energy of your mission. Before the world taught you to doubt yourself, before fear and judgment clouded your vision, your mission was clear. Now the work is not to create it, but to return to it, to remember what you already knew before you were told who you should be. In the path of self-mastery, this recognition is sacred, because once you remember your mission, you begin to live differently. You stop wasting time, you stop chasing meaningless goals, you stop comparing yourself to others. You begin to move with intention. Every step you take becomes a reflection of who you truly are and what you are here to do. You no longer ask, what should I do? You ask, what must I become to fulfill this mission? The signs are always present, but to see them you must be still. You must be willing to listen not to the noise outside but to the quiet truth within. You must stop distracting yourself with comfort and face the discomfort of your calling, because your mission does not care about your comfort, it cares about your growth. It cares about your alignment, and it will keep whispering to you, louder and louder until you finally choose to hear it. This is why pain is often the beginning of awakening, because when everything falls apart you begin to see what truly matters. When the old identity dies, something real begins to emerge, something strong, something timeless. That is when your mission becomes clear, not in comfort but in clarity, not in ease but in truth, not in avoidance but in action. So do not wait for someone else to give you permission. Do not wait for the perfect moment or the perfect plan. Begin now. Look at your life. Look at your experiences, your strengths, your wounds, your deep desires. They are not random, they are sacred, they are the signs, they are the message from your soul. And when you honor them, when you follow them, even if the path is uncertain, you will find that life begins to support you in ways you never imagined. You are not here to be like anyone else. You are not here to play small, to shrink, to hide. You are here to fulfill something only you can fulfill, to live a story only you can live, and to carry out a mission only you were born for. And if you keep walking with awareness, with courage, and with heart, that mission will reveal itself, step by step, moment by moment, breath by breath. You already have everything you need within you to begin. So begin now and keep walking your path. Some signs in life are loud, others are soft, but all of them are guiding you towards something greater, something hidden behind the noise of daily living. You are not here just to survive, to follow routines and collect things. You are here because your presence on this earth has meaning, and that meaning is not decided by the world. It is discovered by you, through attention, through stillness, through reflection. When you begin to see the signs, not as coincidences, but as messages, everything changes. Your path begins to light up, not all at once, but step by step. The universe does not shout, it whispers, and these whispers come in many forms. A sudden loss, a recurring dream, a moment of deep stillness when your heart knows something without